Wade for MMA Heat here with Jake Ellenberger. Jake, you're going to be facing Robbie Lawler. He's just coming off a loss from fighting Hendricks. You were originally scheduled to fight on the same card as your brother Joe. That got changed. What are your thoughts about that? Were you disappointed in the change, or is that actually alleviate some pressure?
I think there's some good things I can take out of it. I know with my brother and I being on the same card, it just creates more stress. For me as a as his twin brother, as a coach, that whole thing. But it's nice to kind of step back and just be able to focus on him and coach him, and at the end of the day, just looking to get the W for him, so he can do what he does, move on, and then focus on myself.
And I know he's been wanting to fight for the UFC for a long time. Now he's here. You're going to be on Fox Sports 1 later today. How is it seeing your brother, finally, part of the team?
No, it's awesome. I mean, he's obviously been around the UFC for a long time, and he's been on their radar for a long time. So it's great. It's been a long time coming. I know he's excited. I have enjoyed seeing the change in his behavior, and not only in training but outside of training. And it's just like I said, it's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. Finally, it's coming to fruition. But I think hopefully down the road we still fight on the same card in the UFC. But it's all good. Everything it's exciting right now.
Sure. Yeah, it is great. Recently, I've seen you've been training over at Glendale Fight Club with Edmond. For people who don't know, that's Ronda Rousey's coach. She gives a lot of credit for her success to him. When did you originally meet Edmond, and how's that going?
Yeah, I've known Edmond for a while. We became friends down at the Gracie Academy. There's a few places that I've trained with Ronda at the Gracie Academy with H.E.A.T and Henner, and kind of got to know Edmond there and became friends. But so I've been friends with him for a while, but I recently just started working with him more and more. I guess for just sharpening some skills and specific skill building, I guess. And he's fantastic when it comes to strategy. And the more I've worked with him, the more I want to continue to work with him. He's a brilliant guy. I would say he's one of the smartest guys in combat sports.
And what were your thoughts? The fight just happened in Dallas between Robbie and Hendricks. What were your thoughts after seeing that fight?
It was definitely a big event. Both guys similar, both very powerful, stand in front of each other. It was good to kind of watch and to get a perspective on how I would face either guy. But like I said, I've been focused so much on myself and getting to 100% and being where I can be my best, and if I'm there, I know I can beat anyone in the world. Whether it's Johnny or Robbie. But when you're at the top, there's just nowhere to sit down. Everyone's good. So Robbie and I are both very familiar with each other. We actually had the same manager for a period of time, Monty Cox, and we're friends. He's somebody I would consider a friend. But this is when you're fighting for a world title. That happens. You gotta face guys that you consider a friend. But for me, it's all business. I'm focused on what I gotta do to beat him and get that world title.
And did you start training with Edmond after that fight, or had you already been training with him?
Yeah, I had already been training with him a couple months. But it's funny because I started work with him 1 day a week, and then we started working 2 days a week. Now sometimes three to 4 days a week. Now it's 3 days a week, sometimes 4. So really. I like his philosophy on training as far as sparring, and we're hiring specific sparring partners exactly for Robbie, and everything's very structured. It's very clear. There's no questions. There's no training's not up in the air. You know exactly what you're doing every day and what time, and it's been great. I've enjoyed being more defined and having more of a concrete structure in my training.
So we clearly might see a different look this time around, because I know in the past you've trained a lot of King's MMA, Rain Training Center. I believe you're still going down there too, but now you are bringing a different style or a different, maybe perhaps a different skill set.
Yeah, I think there's things. It's funny because every time I worked with Edmond, I've seen or done something that I've never seen or done before, and it's hard to say that because I've been fighting for 9 years. I've trained all over the country and all over the world, but. Specific things. I mean, he has a few world champions in boxing. Like I said, if I can focus on one thing, whether it's the jab or certain footwork, I can sharpen one thing at a time. But obviously paying attention to things that I haven't paid attention to in the past is huge. Not only from a strategic point of view, but obviously each opponent's different. But for me, like I said, if I can be at my best, I know I can beat anyone in the world.
You obviously have an amazing wrestling background. Have you had a chance to test your wrestling against Ronda's judo?
Yeah, well, you know, we've rolled quite a bit. She's phenomenal. She's cool. She's good energy. People don't realize how hard it is to make something like judo a martial art to succeed. You have to be amazing. You know, you have to be at the highest level. I mean, you've seen some of the throws she does, and you know, it's like somebody drilling an armbar. You know, in order to execute that in real time, you know how many you're gonna have to drill that hundreds of thousands of times. But you know, she's great. She's thrown me on my head a couple times. Yeah. Don't tell anybody though.
All right, no one will watch this. Yeah. And last question I have. Jake Shields was recently released from the UFC. You fought him just over 2 years ago. You beat him in under a minute, knocked him out. What were your thoughts when you heard that he was released?
You know, it's unfortunate, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a business. You gotta win fights, and we're in the fight business. You gotta be entertaining. So, I like Jake Shields. He's a phenomenal fighter. The guy's had an amazing career, and I think you know he could definitely come back. That's not necessarily the door's not closed for good. So was I surprised? You know, a little bit, but you know, the guy, he's continued to be one of the top guys in the world. But you know, I'm sure he'll succeed wherever he goes.
Definitely. All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Good to see you. Cool.